Alba Gomez here. Today I want to share with you what I do as a first step when I'm applying my makeup. And this will be all about bringing the glow into my skin. So I personally do not use foundation. When I feel that I want to just even my face because that day is just maybe have some red spots or is more uneven than normal, I like using this compact makeup from Clinique. I really like it is just because it's light and I can easily apply it over my face. So it just has a little bit of a sponge and it's more like a cream foundation. But as I said, I generally don't do it. However, I do have very dark circles, so I do like applying a concealer. And my preferred one is this from Lancome. I love it is because it doesn't get into the little wrinkles around my eyes. And usually this one, that is number 02, works with pretty much with everyone from very fair skin to just like medium tone. But anyway, there's one for every tone. So what I do is I put a little bit of concealer on my ring finger and I apply it, like gently patting under my eye. It is really important that you get to both corners, the inner corner and the outer corner. This is especially important for people who do have eyes, dark circles. It is amazing how it changes your eyes. It can make you look just brighter and alive straight away. I'm just gonna do that in both eyes. So once I have evenly distributed and blended the concealer with my skin, usually you can just form like a triangle shape and make sure that it is evenly distributed and you cannot see any lines of changes of color in your skin. So once I've done that, I need to go and set the concealer, because otherwise if I don't do anything now, I don't put any powder on top of my concealer, that is just gonna literally disappear in a few hours. So I've got here this Chanel powder and it's number 20, that just works for my skin. And I usually use the sponge, especially under the eye, just to make sure the powder gets on my skin, but sometimes I also use a little bit brush, a big brush. The difference with this is the brush will give you a more natural look. The sponge will create a thicker layer on top of your skin. So it really depends. It just depends on your personal preference. So I'm just gonna go with the sponge, especially around my eyes, just because I wanna properly set the concealer. And for the rest of my skin, I'm just gonna use the brush. So I just literally put the brush against the powder and just go with the brush all over the rest of my skin. Okay, so once I'm finished with that, I'm gonna go now into highlighting my face. I'm not a fan of spending too much time, so I do it very simple for me. I do a little bit of highlighting and using blush. So the best way to do this is to get a powder, or it can be even an eyeshadow that is light, in a light color. So what I've got here is this MAC Beauty powder and it's on color Snow Globe. So what it is just like a very light, but it's got a little bit of shimmer to it. I don't know if you get to see it there. So what I'm going to do with that is highlight the top of my cheekbone. So I'm literally just going to apply, and I'm using a small brush, a little bit on top of my cheekbone. And for those days that I'm not gonna do a full makeup, I might even put a little bit of this same color all over my eyelid, just for a little bit of highlight. So mainly the part you want to highlight is on top of your cheekbone. You can do a little bit on your nose, and you can even highlight a little bit around your jawline. What you need to bear in mind is highlighters, light shades will make that area look bigger. So in that case, you will just stick to put a little bit on top of the cheekbones, maybe around the eye, and that's it. So this is very subtle. As you can see, it's not that I'm just looking completely different. So next step would be to apply your blush. You need to take into consideration what shades of blush work best for you. If you have a cool undertone, pink shades will look best. And if you have a warm undertone, more coral and orangey shades will look best for you. The other thing you need to take into consideration is the shape of your face. two very general rules is if your face is longer than it is wider, you want to apply your blush horizontally. By applying horizontally, your face appears to be shorter. But if your face, as opposed to that, is rounded or wider, then you want to apply your blush diagonally on an angle. And by applying it on an angle, your face will appear to be shorter. So my face is slightly longer than it is wider, so I apply my blush horizontally. So I'm just going to apply horizontally, and I want you to create two imaginary lines. One that comes crossing around the iris of your eye, and just imagine that you put one or two fingers around your ear, and your blush should stay in between this area, not all over the way to the ear, not over the way to the nose. You just want to apply it around this area. So the most important thing with the blush is you want to blend it between your highlighter and the rest of the color of your skin. I sometimes go with my big brush, just do a little bit of a blending just to make sure it's blended properly. So this is what I generally do every day. This is like the basic. From here I will decide to enhance my eyes or my lips. But let's say the most common thing I would do will be to put an eyeliner, mascara, and a little bit of lip gloss. And then I go off the door. So it is quite simple, but I would recommend that you look into evening up the shade of your skin. And lots of people think I put on foundation and I don't, but it's because I know where to cover. So I prefer to cover the areas of my skin that need it, put a little light layer of powder, and then just do a little bit of blush. And then with that, my skin will look much brighter than it would if I didn't put any, or if I put even a little bit, too much makeup. So have a try, decide if you want to start using concealer. If you don't, or if you are, make sure you are applying enough, because from my experience with my clients, because of the fear of looking too made up or too much makeup, we don't put enough. And then even though you're spending the time putting your makeup, you're not looking that great just because you're not putting enough of what you need. So have fun trying, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye bye.